Alright, so I'm very excited to check out this Anavad here. Always excited for Anavad.
Take your medicine. This is going to hurt.
Charge a little bit of your ult. Anyone anti can never hurt.
I will keep you here. This will
I'd like to see you start to try and push up now because like your monkey, you can't see him. I like the like super safe sightline you're taking there though. I mean that is a style of Ana, there's so many. But right there, you don't really need to take aggressive sightlines. Your team is winning the fight. Getting picked by their McCree or something is only going to be bad for you. I'll probably always mention this, but I would appreciate if you hit tab just because it really is good to know 100% what your enemy's running. Okay. Better use here is if you were worried about this Moira, not saying you were, I would have loved to see you just throw your anti in. She's not getting any healing off, and that would heal all your teammates, and so you wouldn't even have to worry. Oh, did we not see our Widow? So right here, we just need to look above, because you're going to see your Widow goes critical here. Right there. And, you know, we are just kind of ignoring her. So, general awareness piece there, not a big deal, but if she would have died, it would have been unfortunate.
surrender to my will. You're powered up. Get in there. Surrender to my will. You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, so I mean, I think everything's going to end okay, but I probably would not have used my ult there, and not on Hanzo either. I do actually subscribe to the school of using your nano as much as possible, but I don't like stacking support ults, even like Moira and Ana, and I don't like the fact that you had like a low Ryan and you were nanoing a Hanzo behind him, because if that Ryan died, then the Hanzo wouldn't have gotten any value anyway. And so we don't have to watch the whole thing again, but right here, so Ryan is critical right now. We've already got one pick, and then we nano the Hanzo, and our Ryan thankfully got healed by the Moira, but you could have been getting so much more value out of this whole fight, even if you would have just gone for the Pharah after she was res instead of the Mercy. Unfortunate you got grabbed like that.
On the beach.
I definitely don't want to see you take this position right now, because now you can't see any of your teammates.
No one can hide.
The payload was being pushed this whole time, and so I would have... one more back. So, nothing here, and payload is being pushed. And so now you wasted time going over here, and you know it's about to go around that corner.
No one can
Can't see
hide
your
from
monkey at
my
all.
sight.
Thankfully you do have like a Moira who's putting out a ton of healing, but if you had a lower healer combo, like a Zen who was up there, your team may have died.
Surrender to my will. You're going to be okay. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So you were hard scoped in, so did you even notice that the Pharah shot your Widow right next to you?
Okay. Surrender to my
So you can
will.
hear the sound cue of your Widow being hurt once. So you heal her here,
You're going to be okay.
and then you go up to your team, hard scoped in, and just listen closely here. There's your Widow. Did you hear that sound cue? And you can see the Pharah right there. So one more time.
To be okay. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
There's your Widow, and you could see the Pharah. You ignored her, you walked right past her. there's your Widow critical now. And kind of the same thing again.
Thank you.
Is it the end of the world that you did not heal your Widow right there? No. But imagine the shame it would have been if your Widow died here, and then maybe even the Fire got one more pick or something. You have a free push right here, some free space while the enemy team's still respawning. There's no reason to take that risk with your team.
Get in there.
It's a good nano, I'm a big fan. You know the monkey didn't quite have his jump up yet. You need some real damage into him. I would want to see you... You're going to end up this way because of how the payload moves, but right here,
Get in there.
you rotate to this side of the payload, okay? I would actually want to see you on this side of the payload because it's very common for enemies to come out of these doors here. So the simplest way to show you is going to be, we'll just look at this real quick. So enemies are oftentimes going to come from here. So if you are playing over here behind the payload, and you would keep that curve going the whole time. So you would, the payload's going to go like this, you're going to be over here behind the payload the whole time. You can get, there's so much red. You can get free shots onto your team over here. If an enemy does push this way, you have the payload for cover, and you're still getting your shots over here. So playing on this corner, in my opinion, was just more risky than you needed to be. But, I mean, you can get flanked from this side too. It does happen. It's really from this door over here. It does happen, but it's much less likely. So you see, you push on this side here, and I would have loved to see you over here behind the payload, and especially like right now, because you can see there they were. We got a teammate critical here, so let's see here. Monkey, you got a Hanzo critical here, Zarya, so they were all on this side. So you being on this side of the payload the whole time, you're there now, but that would have just been a safer position for you from the start. And this is good. See, so now you know your teammates are over here, so you're not in immediate danger right here. So I love the fact that you're going to rotate over to this side.
ELO is approaching its destination.
Good job,
Alright,
guys.
so far, the big issues that I'm seeing is that you are positioning yourself in ways that you're either taking too long, or you can't hit the shots or whatever that exactly you need, or that aren't the safest for you. And then we need to change the way our cooldowns are thought about a little bit. There's more nades that we could throw, there's more sleeps that we could shoot, even if you don't think they're going to hit anybody, or even if you can only anti 1-2 people. It's much better than just letting that nade sit on cooldown for 12 seconds.
Fighting for what you... Everything if you get...
What an interesting hypothesis.
100% German power!
5, 4, 3,
No monkey business.
1. Attackers incoming. My will. Stop the
So this is a spot that you're going to see a lot of Honest hold in this kind of double sniper situation. It's nice almost that you have the Winston, weirdly enough, because otherwise you'd have almost no one to peel for you. And as soon as they come around... Okay.
Watching your back.
See, so right here, it's nice that you threw the nade at your enemies, okay? But you have multiple critical teammates. You haven't even looked at your double sniper. Just different stuff to be doing.
You're going to live.
And honestly here, we got so wrapped up in healing our teammates that are now low, that we lost kind of track of what was going on. So starting... Hard to pause here at any moment. So really starting here-ish, that soldier has a clear line of fire on you, and if they had any sort of widow, tracer, whatever, because keep in mind you are exposed from this left side still, you could die very easily. And it doesn't happen for very long, but your Rhine actually ends up backing up all the way to where his shield I think only goes out to about right there, while you're still here. So all of this space here is space that you could have been headshot in. And so I would want to see you be a little bit more careful and start your rotation to the side a little bit earlier. I know you said yourself comms aren't the best in this, but I would love to see you call out reloading. You have a critical monkey who's pushing up while you're reloading. Okay, so that nano right there, they have a bastion. Even a nanoed Rhine full health will die to a bastion in just a few seconds. So it does scare me a little bit that you threw that. Thankfully it looks like it's going very well, but that's a very risky play there. Especially if you're not going to communicate it to your Rhine. Because if, say, he was indecisive, or say his shield was very low already or something, he wouldn't have made it to the bastion.
Wait, you hit? Oh shit.
Let's go.
My bad.
So I really don't like your positioning. You can't even see this left side right now. If they made any, and you're not hitting tab, if they made any sort of switch to a Widow, a Hanzo, a Tracer, a Sombra, you would be hacked, headshot, etc. from this left side and you'd be dead. Play further back. Probably just further back is realistically your best choice. Just where you were earlier, by the plants. And also, if you were right here, you would have been outside of that shatter cone. I'm lucky. So I would want to see you just back up now. You know there's attack visor soldier right there.
No one can hide.
You're probably going to die. You should die. And Ana with no shield or anything versus attack visor soldier should die.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Okay, so think about where you're playing right here. So you are playing just in the open here. Could have been headshot here. Could have been headshot here. That Widow could have just as easily been you. You missed the sleep. You're still playing in the open. Still in the open. Still in the open. Okay, there we go. Think about that shatter that your Ryan literally just failed to block. If that happened again, if they went a sniper, and I don't mean to sound repetitive, anything like that, you're dead. So I want to see you play over here behind this doorway or back here. In my mind, if I'm playing this, I'm saying to myself, hey, my Ryan's an idiot, my Orisa now, and I'm going to get shattered next fight. Or, you know, they're going to drop their shield or whatever. And that's not, I don't mean that mean to them at all because everyone misses shatters, but there's no reason you need to die to that. See, so you're frontlining right now. It's a bummer that you threw that anti-grenade at nothing really there, because if you could have thrown it here when you flipped the Rhine, that would have been beautiful. Would have been really cool. really, really cool if you were playing back here, and so you would have seen the Reaper up here before he dropped, and you could have told your team. Even if you were playing over here, this far right corner, like back here, you could have told your team the Reaper was dropping.
Team kill. Much better than a commando.
Marks his prey.
Take your medicine. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So now you're standing here and you're rotating towards this left doorway, and you know your enemies can come that way. It's just something to think about. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's definitely something to think about when there is totally safe places that you could rotate to, or safer places. There's the Reaper. If you were further from that doorway, it probably would have been no problem, because your Junkrat came to peel for you right away. So if you would have played back right, you don't want to play like in this. Okay, so looking at this here, where can you die from, right? So we're going to draw an arrow from each spot that you can die from in red. You can die from the front, you can die from this doorway, and then there's an entrance over there that you can die from. So where are you best to play? Alright, actually, simple enough. What we're going to do is, so this is the payload, alright? This is where you are right now, okay? So you, payload. You can die from a doorway over here, you can die from a doorway over here, and you can die from the payload. So what you ended up doing is you ended up, after spawn, you ended up very close to this doorway here. And so then a Reaper comes out of here, you drop back, but you don't really have space. This right here is not very much space. And same thing if you play inside of this room over here. If a Reaper comes up these stairs, even if you drop back like towards the Mega, this doorway to the Mega is not very much space. So instead what you do is you play somewhere over here or over here. So there's tons of room here where you can still get sightlines onto the payload, but then you're at no risk of dying from this doorway, and you're at a, you might have to move a little closer to this doorway, but you're not at a big risk of dying to that doorway. And your Junkrat, he came back right away. He was like here, and he came right away, and that's how close he got to saving you. If you were literally just here instead, Reaper starts coming, meets your Junkrat. You plus your Junkrat, kill the Reaper. I know this looks like a mess, but I hope that makes sense. Just rotate a little to your right here, and you'd be in a beautiful spot. There's the Reaper, not enough space.
Reaper behind us.
Imagine if you were right there. He couldn't have gotten you.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم.
So you're pushing up really far when you know they have an aggressive Reaper and you don't have any teammates. You're alive, but cutting it close, you know? Off cooldown. Off cooldown. Finally used. Finally used. Nice. That was really nice sleep.
I will keep you here. I'm on fire. Keep out of my way. Get real.
Armoring you up.
Your gun should be okay.
So think about where you're playing right now and ask yourself where you're possibly going to be able to retreat to if they start pushing you. When you're playing over here and your team is here, you're in big danger. You gotta be playing back here. So easy to flank over there, and if you didn't have a junk right there, I bet the Reaper would have killed you because you wouldn't even have known he was coming that way. And then the worst part is, this is your only real line of retreat, so you retreated here, but there's no cover at all while you're retreating. And so of course you're going to die to a soldier or something when you're pushing in the middle. If you were playing back here from the start, that soldier starts shooting at you and you're already behind this pole. You don't even have to stress.
I'm not ready to hang it up. Fighting struggle. One payload had a gap.
Found the enemy. Come and face me.
So we're kind of far up again.
I will keep you here.
Okay, and so look here even, from the start. So
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Had a gap.
could have thrown a nade at any time.
Come and face me.
Even if you just got 5% ult charge, you'd have your nade back.
I will keep you here.
Still good. Just chuck it up in the air at the payload.
This will
Nice.
never occur. Get back in the fight.
Sitting there when you great to throw a nade in.
Surrender to my will. Bedtime.
Power of destruction.
I will keep you
That was
here.
nice. It's a shame your team killed him right away. Alright, so you know they have a Pharah now. So in your head, you should be saying, I'm standing in the open. Oh no. That's bad, 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 bad. What if the Pharah just flanked on this side or just flew over this roof right here? There is literally probably not cover you could get to in time besides this, and then you're going to be pushing into their team to try and get to cover.
Get into position.
You pushed too far up, not back in your cover. So the Pharah took you because you didn't have cover, and the soldier took you because you were too far up.
You're not getting rid of me that easily. Watching your back.
Nice. I want to see you keep running away though, because you don't have any cover here. You have to go through the wide open. Fire shot, fire shot. There you go. Because there's absolutely no cover here. So, where you are standing right now, there is literally, I think there is the closest you could go to dodge the Pharah. Your team had gotten 2 kills too. If you were there to heal him, pretty much can. So your diva just carried the fight. Nice. But if you were there to heal him, even without the diva, you would have won that fight for sure. And you know how you would have done that? You would have played in this room right here. The Pharah is no threat to you, and you can heal all your teammates off of this sightline. I mean, you can even real quick go up to the high ground when you were coming back.
Score 3-3. Switching side. Fair to
Fighting for what
Operate together.
everyone got.
commence. Escort the payload.
ده هيكون مؤلم.
So you're gradually moving away from this wall that is your only cover right now, and you're walking to somewhere that has no cover, but you can only hit the exact same shots. If you're going to move out of cover, at least make sure that it's giving you some value. You might as well just be behind this wall right now because you could still heal all of these people.
I have your back.
Moving the payload. And help requested. Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Healing in her.
So now, again, same shots you could hit, you're in the dead middle.
Repair the damage.
Widowmaker here.
I definitely thought I heard something behind you too. That was so weird. Back up. You don't need to be right on top of your running when the wall goes down. You're not going to body block for him or anything. And your heals work the exact same way whether you're 2 inches on top of them.
All systems checked out.
Go. I keep you here.
I'll show them.
2 far ups, you got shattered. And 2 far ups, you almost got walled. There's no reason for you right now not to be back here. Even on the stairs or something back here. Yes, it's low cover, but it allows you to hit amazing shots. And this is no cover anyway, so you're not making a trade-off. If you want to play cover, you could go behind this corner or in here. Even if you were maybe on this high ground, you could hit some heals. I mean, there's a few things you could do that take some ingenuity and might be risky, but you would at least be providing some sort of value.
Everyone, stay out of my way.
So pretty much your whole team is dead here. And you're still fighting a soldier in the middle. Go in here or in here, and you're totally safe from the soldier, and you could probably still kill him. You can see the Rhine right around that corner. You notice the Meg. You should be very scared of playing corners like that, like pushing up on corners alone. So now he's visoring and you're out in the open. If he would have turned around for you, you would have died.
Go. I keep you here.
Good job, guys.
Alright, yeah. I mean, it was a nice win. It's a bummer because you didn't need to necessarily play better mechanically there. I would have loved to see you hit some of the shots. I would have loved to see you, do some different stuff mechanically. But actually, you really only needed 3 things. 1, target focus on your allies and your enemies. Shooting a Valking Mercy as an Ana is very difficult. I don't want to tell you to never do it, especially because there's people that do it to great success. But if you know pretty much that you're not going to kill that Valking Mercy, you're just wasting your time. Or, as far as target focus on your allies, a lot of that comes from positioning. Because you were oftentimes standing in places that you couldn't heal the right allies. And so I really hope that you watch this and really take in the cover. And I may even suggest to you to play your next game thinking about your cover totally. Think hard so that it helps become ingrained. Think, where I'm standing, could their team kill me? If they switched, could they kill me? And think, am I able to get value out of this spot? Because yeah, if you just want cover, you just sit in your spawn. You're totally safe. But there's no reason to be like standing in the middle on Ana. She can snipe so easy and you can just get so much out of that. And sometimes it can almost be better because if you throw your nade from far away, you can a lot of times get high ground off of it. You can a lot of times angle it in different ways to where they can't block it with their shield as well. Or you throw it and by the time it travels, that Diva's defense matrix is down or something like that. There's amazing options that you can get from making sure that you're positioned correctly, and so I'd really want you to focus on that. And then the third and final thing would just be using your abilities more. I think that generally speaking you were on the right track. Almost all of your sleeps were like aimed at their tanks. All of your nades were generally aimed at like their groups. But I would love to see you use them more, even if you can only nade like one target. When I see you waiting like 24 seconds to throw one nade, all that tells me is that you could have thrown 2. And even if they got 1 person each, you're going to get a lot of value out of no heals, you know? And especially like in a comp that they're running, you don't need to save your nade for the Winston jumping you or the Genji on your back. Like there was nothing like that in their comp. And so basically I wanted to see you firing off your cooldowns as soon as they could get value. That isn't always as soon as you have them, but as soon as they could get value. And so target focus, positioning, and cooldowns, and I mean you will climb like a maniac. Other than that, it was a pleasure to watch, man.